the Safeco Field. The day in Seattle began with showers, but boy, it has turned out to be a very nice evening, and it's only going to get better through the weekend. We'll have a high tomorrow of about 65 degrees, afternoon sunshine, and 10 degrees warmer on Sunday with a high of about 75. Tom Glasgow with you from the Forward Sports Desk. Nice to have you with us as we get ready for the Mariners and the Royals. Hey, a reminder for you, and this is important stuff we got to tell you about. If you have the mobile app from Washington's Lottery, you could be checking out winning in numbers while rooting for the home team. Make sure you play today. Get that app. Well, it's always good news when King Felix is on the mound. The King's Court is in session tonight against the World Series champions. For more on that, we send it upstairs as we check in with Aaron and Mike. Guys?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Tom. Happy Felix Day. King's Court will be in session today. Very special King's Court celebrating the King now as the Mariners' all-time strikeout leader. And, of course, a win today for Felix, and he would tie Jamie Moyer for the most career wins in franchise history at 144. And, Mike, this is an interesting matchup for any pitcher, especially a guy with dominant stuff like Felix, going up against a team in Kansas City that hardly ever strikes out and they hardly ever walk.
Yeah, it leads me to believe they're going to be very aggressive with Felix early in the ball game. Typically, Felix will work ahead with his fastball. I think his slider and his curveball are going to be important for him to get ahead of the Royals hitters tonight. Again, they do not strike out and they do not walk. They're going to be aggressive against Felix.
Take a look at the other half of our Lexus pitching matchup here tonight in Game 1. Chris Medlin has been fantastic on the road. You can see a minimum of 30 decisions. He's got the best road winning percentage in baseball. You can see Asashi Iwakuma is on that list as well. So it'll be a tough task tonight against the righty in Medlin. Right now we take a look at our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Nobody more energizing in this lineup right now than Ketel Marte.
Well, and you're right, and he's really been swinging the bat well as of late. A 7-game hitting streak for Marte, and when he gets on the bases, he makes things happen. So you talk about energy. He's going to be important to this club all year long, and Scott Service has basically turned him loose to make things happen.
Marte tonight batting 8th. You can see what he's done in his last 7 games. He's lifted his batting average over 100 points. He's got 13 hits over his last 7 games. Tonight we see him batting 8th in the order. Well, Adam Lind, before the day off yesterday, jumping on the first pitch, connected with home run at number 1 in a Mariners uniform. Another guy whose bat is starting to heat up. 14 hits for Lind, his last 12 games in the lineup here tonight. We're back to beautiful Safeco Field. A gorgeous night for baseball after this timeout.
is brought to you by your local Ford stores. By Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. By the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Visit emeraldqueen.com. And by T-Mobile. Get Major League coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. Welcome back to the Ford Sports Desk. You heard from Macklemore earlier in this broadcast talking about throwing out the first pitch. So how did Seattle's music legend do? Time for the Big Fish Casino big catch. And there's the big pitch. A little outside. Wearing the Griffey uniform, Macklemore, job well done. The third time he's thrown out the first pitch here at Safeco Field. Now the next guy who's going to be throwing the heat from that mound, King Felix, on the hill tonight against the Royals. The first pitch is coming up right here on Root Sports.
What a way to start off the weekend here tonight from Safeco Field. The first of three against the defending World Series Kansas City Royals. It is Beard Hat night here from inside Safeco Field. Macklemore is in the house. It's college night, a very special edition of Kings Court. We got a lot going on here for the first of three against Kansas City. But Mike, first, let's take a look at Ned Yost's starting lineup.
It's an aggressive lineup as you take a look at it. Mike Moustakas, the number 2 hitter, leads the club with 7 home runs so far this year. You can see Alex Gordon, his career against Felix, not much luck for him. Just a 174 hitter with 8 strikeouts. Then you go all the way down to the number 9 hitter, Dyson. You want to be careful with him, a lot of speed. For Felix on the year, his 5th start. 1-2 record, but a 1.80 ERA for Felix. 24 strikeouts. Want to stay away from the walks. 15 walks in the 25 innings that he has worked. Opponents hitting 156. Take a look at the defense brought to you by American Family Insurance. Seth Smith will get the start out in right field. Adam Lynn at first base, and Chris Iannetta will do the catching this evening.
Kings Court charged up and ready to go. Felix all set to make start number 5 on the season. You can see what he did on Saturday against the Angels. Felix has faced these Royals a lot over the course of his career. By and large, he's pitched very well against Kansas City. No surprise, Escobar swings to the first pitch. Martin is there for out number 1.
One of the things we were talking about with the Royals, again, they do not strike out. They won't walk. And Felix, especially to the middle of the lineup, is going to have to use his breaking ball, whether it's a slider or curveball, a little bit more to get ahead of hitters. The first fastball, 91 miles an hour for Felix.
Brings in Mike Moustakas, an all-star from last season. They put the shift on for Moustakas. Mike, by and large, this identity offensively for Kansas City has not changed much from last year to this year.
No, it really hasn't. They're an athletic group. They will run. They're 5th in the league in stolen bases. I haven't seen a lot of power from them at all. They're 10th in home runs, but again, with that speed, they're 7th in doubles, 3rd in triples, and they are 4th in hitting. They've struggled to score runs this year. They're 11th in runs scored, hitting just .214 runners in scoring position.
Felix is 0-2. Felix wants it appealed out at third base. It looked like he got one, 1-2. Felix now the franchise's all-time strikeout king. Special edition K cards and T-shirts in King's Court here tonight. You can see. Royals enjoyed an off day yesterday here in our city. They had a 4-2 homestand. They played very well. Series wins against the Tigers and the slugging Orioles, but then swept at Anaheim in 3 games. Two balls and 2 strikes. In fact, for Kansas City, all 10 of their road games, interestingly enough, have come against teams from the American League West. 4-6 right now away from Kauffman Stadium. The opposite way, Aoki, former Royal. Now number 2. Two up, 2 down. It brings in Lorenzo Cain, who's in a bit of a slump right now.
I think it'll be interesting to watch Felix work his way through the lineup. As aggressive as they are, already a couple of outs, just 7 pitches. He has an opportunity with 100 pitches to pitch through 8 innings tonight if he's able to keep them in the ballpark and on the ground.
It's kind of a dual-edged sword to an aggressive lineup in that regard, isn't there?
Yeah, the good news, though, is it's happened many times with Felix, and he's able to make adjustments quickly now. And it also looks like he has a pretty good fastball. This year, his average fastball, about 89 miles an hour, but we've already seen a number of 91-mile-an-hour fastballs. That was a good curveball that he was able to get over for a strike. As you look at Felix and the pitches that he's able to throw, of course, he has the great changeup, the curveball, and the slider. And with the changeup, probably not a surprise to hear that opponents are hitting just .067 against his changeup. But how about his curveball? .091. That has been an effective pitch for him, too.
Really an extension from last year in that regard.
It is. I had a chance to talk to Felix about it in the spring, and he said he was going to use it quite a bit this year, and he has so far.
Strike 3 call. Felix retires the Royals in order. Half inning in the books as Felix notches his first strikeout here tonight against Kansas City. Mariners coming up. 30-year-old right-hander Chris Medlin making his first career start against the Mariners, and Mike have a look at the lineup he'll face tonight.
And what a month of April for Robinson Cano. Leads the league in home runs and RBIs. He will hit third in tonight's lineup. You have Adam Lynn, really been a hot hitter as of late. Hit his first home run as a Mariner on Wednesday. And then Ketel Marte hitting eighth tonight. A 7-game hitting streak for Marte. For Medlin on the year, this will be his fourth start. ERA right at 6. 1-1 record for him. 13 strikeouts to 11 walks. It's been a little bit wild so far early in the season. We'll see if the Mariners can take advantage of that.
Aoki spent 2014 with Kansas City. He falls behind 0-2. Norris should be well rested. Yesterday, a scheduled off day for the Mariners. The day before that was given the night off in the series finale against the Astros. So a 48-hour resting period for Aoki. Comes in fresh. That was his first day off this season.
For Medlin, fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. Typically, will stick with his fastball and his slider. His fastball, there you can see it, 91 miles an hour.
Medlin has fallen victim to Tommy John surgery not only once but twice, and to his credit, it looks as though the velocity pretty much the same now as it was even before he was injured. But a lot of perseverance for Medlin, who pitched in relief for Kansas City last year, pitched in the playoffs, the World Series too, now part of their opening day rotation.
Yes. Take a look at things with Aoki hitting Kane, the center fielder. Covers a lot of ground, but he is playing shallow. So is Gordon, and they're shading him towards left. You can see Gordon close to the line. Kane basically in left center field and shallow.
Here comes the 2-2 and a full count. Seth Smith swinging a nice bat right now on deck for the Mariners, hitting second tonight. He draws a leadoff walk.
Take a look at the defense for the Royals. A lot of gold gloves. Starts in left field. Alex Gordon, 4 gold gloves for Gordon. Then you go to Escobar, winning his first gold glove at shortstop last year. Eric Hosmer at first base, 3 gold gloves for him. And Salvador Perez will do the catching. He also has 3 gold gloves. Royals defense brought to you by American Family Insurance.
Now, Mike mentioned the walks for Medlin. That's now 12 walks over 15+ innings for Medlin this season. Aoki at first base for Seth Smith. Mariners entered tonight looking for their 5th consecutive series win. They've won 4 straight series for the first time since 2014, taking 2 games out of 3 against the Astros to begin this homestand. A very successful 3-city road trip, taking 2 out of 3 in New York, in Cleveland, and then in Anaheim.
If you look at the Royals and throughout the series, you're going to see it. We mentioned the defense. They are number 1 in the American League in defense. They're 5th in ERA overall, so they can pitch and catch it. Probably real strength is the back end of their bullpen. So you want to have a lead later in the game. If you're behind, it'll be difficult to come back on this pen for the Royals.
Herrera and Davis about impenetrable. 1-2 now on Smith.
And neither one of them has given up an earned run this year, so their 8th, 9th inning guys, when they have a lead, have been tough.
Now the Royals have really helped to popularize the way of putting together a team, a blueprint, if you will, of building around your bullpen. We've seen that for the last few years from Kansas City.
I think the other thing that they've done, Aaron, and we've heard a lot about it from Jerry DiPoto, is I think that they've built a club around their ballpark as well. It's
Absolutely.
a big ballpark, and they have a lot of speed, some good athletes that can cover a lot of ground, and that's exactly what Jerry has tried to do with this Mariner club.
A lot of line drive hitters, gap hitters for Kansas City. 2-2. Royals winning the pennant back-to-back seasons, taking down the Mets last year in the World Series. And we saw that athleticism for Kansas City on full display throughout the postseason, especially in the World Series. Count stays put. Some gold on the chest of Salvador Perez. 3 Gold Gloves for many would call the alpha dog for this Kansas City Royals team, and for many years now. Aoki, a leadoff walk. He's at first base. Curveball not missing by a lot. Full count. Now, Royals pitching, and Medlin's been a part of this, they're second in the league in walks given out. Full count and a walk to Aoki. Now a full count to Smith. And at least one man on base right now for Cano on deck.
Well, you look at it with Medlin already, 13 pitches, 7 balls, only 6 strikes for him.
Perez sets up away, and the pitch inside. Back-to-back walks for the Mariners to start off the bottom of the first.
Take another look at Medlin and what he likes to throw. You can see his fastball almost 53% of the time. He really likes his slider, and he likes to throw it a lot with 2 strikes. He will mix in a curveball and changeup.
Now, there aren't many second basemen in the game with 8 bombs and 24 RBIs. 10 of those ribbies coming in the last 3 games for Cano. Grand slam and a 6 RBI night certainly helped.
Yeah, one of the things for me that I've said, talked to a lot of people about Robbie. We saw him in spring training turning on the ball with authority. Obviously, he is healthy now, and you were hoping that would turn over into the season, and it has with the 8 home runs and the 24 RBIs. I don't worry about his average, 247. I think as the summer moves along, you're going to see him where he usually is, closer to 300. It's nice to see that power.
Oh, there's no question. The 8 home runs for Cano lead the league. 24 RBIs are tied for baseball's best. He's tied with Bryce Harper, the reigning National League MVP. Aoki, a walk to begin things. He's at second now. Two on, nobody out. And Cano up with the count, 2-0. Cano has homered in back-to-back games now for the 2nd time this season. You remember he homered in the first 3 games of the year. In fact, he homered 4 times in that opening series at Arlington. Kang's direction, easy play here. Both runners stay put, 1 out.
Mentioned the Royals hitting 214 runners in scoring position for the Mariners. They're now hitting 221. This was about a week ago. Their batting average runners in scoring position was all the way down to 190. So that's a pretty good work over the last week. Part of the reason why they've been able to win their last 4 series.
Mariners entering tonight 11-10, a half game behind the Rangers for first place in the West. RBI chance here for Cruz. First time in his career he's facing Chris Medlin. Medlin came up in the National League with Atlanta, so many of the hitters in tonight's order for the Mariners have not seen Medlin before. Keeping an eye on Aoki. On Saturday for Medlin, he could not get past the 4th inning. He was really knocked around. 7 runs, 9 hits. Those 7 runs tied a career high. So he's not coming off his best start for sure. Right back Medlin's way. Backhand, bare hand, and Infante never touched second. He throws on to first. Smith is safe at second base. Cruz retired.
It was the bobble by Infante. You can see him go to backhand the ball. It's right off the heel of his glove. He's lucky that he was able to hang on to it, but it hurt his footwork, and that's the reason why he wasn't able to reach second base. C.J. Rayburn, the umpire, out at second tonight. It's a good position to make the call. I mentioned that Adam Lynn hit a home run on Wednesday. It was probably one of the longest home runs we've seen this year.
Almost 440 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, he jumped on the first pitch, and very notable that home run from the standpoint of that came off of lefty Tony Sipp, the only lefty that the Astros had in the bullpen. And for Lynn, that was his first home run against a southpaw since 2013.
You mentioned it, almost 440 feet. It one hop into the elevator out in right center field.
Going down.
And that's a true story.
Two in scoring position with 2 outs. Drops in a strike. And Medlin has really had to work here in this bottom of the first. Over 20 pitches, 22.
22 pitches, 10 strikes.
Inside, called a strike, 1-2. For Lynn, 14 hits over his last dozen games. He's starting to heat up a little bit. Broken bat and a soft roller. Infante, easy play on the Mariners, strand 2 in scoring position. We've got an inning in the books. Felix coming back out. We head to the second. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. By Shag, where your friends live. And by BNSF Railway, sponsor of the BNSF Blast. Absolutely beautiful evening here from downtown Seattle. 60 degrees at first pitch from inside Safeco Field. Middle third of the order due up for Kansas City. Felix just 11 pitches to retire the side in order in the first. Facing Eric Hosmer.
And the Mariners have the shift on. Expecting him to pull the ball on the ground. Hosmer to a great start, hitting .333 with 3 home runs.
And he's behind 0-2.
And he's hitting .333 against Felix in his career, 4-12.
Now, Hosmer, a career best 17-game hitting streak he brings to Seattle tonight.
Good pitch, fastball at the top of the strike zone. Felix didn't get the call.
Instead, 1-2. The hitting streak for Hosmer is the best in the majors this season, those 17 games. In fact, he's only gone 3 games without a hit, as you can see where they rank up in the American League. Nobody else with double digits. Weak ground ball. Felix, it takes a knuckle, long throw off the bat. And it gets past Cano. Extra base for Hosmer.
There'll be a base hit and an error going to second on the throw. 21. We talked about Kansas City being athletic. They can run, including their first baseman Hosmer. You can see he was already on the base by the time the ball was going past Lynn.
That's the first base runner tonight for Kansas City. It brings in the former Mariner Kendrys Morales. So that extends the hitting streak for Hosmer now to 18 games. And he's reached base in 30 straight, dating back to last September. Strike 1 to Morales. Now, Kendrys has been cool as of late. 1 for his last 14. He has struggled this year against right-handed pitchers, batting just above 160 against him. Much better against lefties, although he's had many fewer at bats against left-handed pitching. Cano plays it perfectly on to first base. One out, or Hosmer, pardon me, is at third base after that infield single in the air by Felix. So a man 90 feet from home with 1 out for Alex Gordon. Now, we mentioned earlier that Felix's history against the Royals goes back many years ago. In fact, his 3rd career start came against Kansas City when he was just 19 years old back in 2005. It was his 3rd career start. It was his 2nd career win, and it was his first ever double-digit strikeout game. Came at the expense of Kansas City. Punched out 11 Royals over 8 innings that night.
And you can see Kyle Seager, even with the bag at third, the rest of the infield playing back. Scott Service will give up a run for an out right here. And Felix has the exceptional changeup going already here early in the game.
You judge that just by how hitters are reacting to it?
Yes, yeah. You can see that because that last changeup was basically middle of the plate, probably just above the knees. He's thrown a couple of them down out of the strike zone, which is where he wants to throw it.
Broken bat, shallow center. Marte. Hosmer tags, and a good strong throw keeps Hosmer's put at third.
And really a good pitch from Felix. After the changeup, he comes right back with a good fastball at 91 miles an hour on the inside corner. Ends up jamming him for the weak pop-up. Let's take another look at his fastball. It'll start probably in just off the corner, and it jams him. And then Marte over the shoulder catch, and perfect one-hop strike into home plate.
2 outs. Hosmer at third base for Salvador Perez.
Perez 4 for 12 in his career against Felix.
Good swing and a miss there. 1-1. Felix's strikeout looking to Kane on a fastball to end the first inning. That's his lone strikeout so far. Kings Court one pitch away from getting up on its feet. 1 ball and 1 strike. There it is. Kings Court gets activated. 1-2 with 2 outs. Felix faced the minimum on 11 pitches in the first inning, working around an infield single and an error. And now a man at third base. That's Hosmer. The Kings 1-2. Got him swinging. Second strikeout in as many innings for Felix as he keeps Hosmer 90 feet from home. Perez couldn't do much about it. We go to the bottom of the second. Mariners and Royals scoreless. A couple of strikeouts. Mariners and Royals scoreless here in game 1. We'll take a glance at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Train. Big weekend series right now against the defending World Series champions. Tomorrow night, remember that game has been moved back from 6:10 to 7:10. Nelson Cruz boomstick bobblehead night tomorrow night. Then it all wraps up on Sunday. Taijuan Walker takes the ball for the Mariners. He's been electric to begin the season. Then it's up to the Bay Area to face the Oakland A's. Seager leads off the bottom of the second for the Mariners. Seager, one of a handful of hitters tonight, facing Medlin for the first time in his career. Well inside, 2 balls and a strike. I think it's pretty obvious that Seager's 143 average is not indicative of the type of player that he is, but it also seems like Kyle's got a good enough head on his shoulder to know that he's had some really tough outs along the way.
Well, you're right, and this is one of the situations where, for where he's at right now, you're glad that he has been around. He's a veteran guy. He's put up numbers. If this was a first or second year player, it would be really difficult for them, but I think Kyle is going to be able to handle it just fine. And don't get me wrong, it still isn't any fun to be going through it. And when you square the ball up, especially at this point, you want to see some results and get some hits. But he's hitting some tough luck. Edgar Martinez working a lot with Kyle. He's made a number of adjustments already this year. And I think he's swung the bat better over the last week or so. That's a pretty good take right there on a good breaking ball down.
For years now, we've heard Kyle talk about very minute tweaks to his swing from time to time. He never overhauls it, but based on how he's going, we know that's something that he's done a lot of.
No, he does. He watches a lot of tape and talks about hitting a lot. And a couple of things he's changed from the start is his hand position. It's slight, barely noticeable. I didn't notice it until I heard that that's what he had done. Edgar Martinez talking about it. And then going from the leg kick to the toe tap, which the toe tap is something he actually did a couple of years ago just to keep his weight back because he felt he was drifting forward. But at this level, a lot of these guys will make adjustments, and they're so minor that even though you watch them every day, it's tough to see it or pick it up.
Reaches base on a walk already to the third from Medlin. Field down to first base. It's a ball.
It's rare to see a hitter at this level overhaul their swing or make a big change. It's all minor.
That's an off-season project.
That's an off-season project. Yeah, and they're looking at tape, and they'll look at tape where they were last year when they were hitting the ball well, and then put it up, two pictures up next to each other where they're at now, and maybe they can pick something up. And they will study it until they figure out what it is. Edgar's one of the best at that. I saw him the other day. I was walking down through the tunnel, and he was in the room studying away, looking at a lot of tape. As Edgar puts a lot of time in.
Seager leadoff walk at first. Iannetta ahead of the count, 2-0. Caught on a line by Escobar. And there's out number 1. Kids, complete your Little League outfit with a pair of Mariners socks when you head to Safeco Field this Sunday at 1:10. They're free to all kids 14 and under. Thanks to Aquafina. Visit a Mariners team store or go online to mariners.com for tickets. A great crowd on hand here tonight for game 1 of 3 against Kansas City. One out, one on. It brings in Ketel Marte, riding a 7-game hitting streak.
Moustakas, the third baseman, playing in on the grass. You can see Lorenzo Cain, the center fielder, shading towards left center. Big gap out in right center field.
Marte just 22 years old on the opening day roster for the first time in his career. One ball and 1 strike. Mike, we hear hitters say all the time that they don't care where they hit in the order. They just want to be in the lineup every day. It probably says something, some credit given to Marte, that he has by and large produced results in the bottom third of the order and in the top third of the order. We've seen him at the very top. We've seen him, as we've seen tonight, batting 8th.
And I think when you're a young player, it is especially true what you're talking about. They just want to be in the lineup. And I don't think that for him being at the top of the order or the bottom of the order, it changes the way that he's supposed to go about his business. His business is to get on base.
Down swinging.
I think if all of a sudden you hit him somewhere in the middle of the lineup, then maybe he tries to do too much. But whether he's hitting first or second or 8th or 9th is not going to change his approach at all. So far for Medlin, 8 batters faced, only 2 first pitch strikes. Take a look at this last pitch. Looks like a changeup, and it is 86 miles an hour down out of the strike zone.
2 out Seager at first base after reaching on a leadoff walk. In fact, Medlin has walked the leadoff man each of the first 2 innings. And now squares off against Leonis Martin. Going after the first pitch, strike 1.
Another changeup.
Now the suspect part of this Royals team entering the season, probably to many, was the rotation. Of course, Johnny Cueto signing the big free agent deal, signing with San Francisco. And Cueto had some great moments for Kansas City, also had some very difficult ones. The Mariners will not see the Royals opening day starter Edinson Volquez, who really start to finish last year was Kansas City's most consistent pitcher. Mariners will see Yordano Ventura tomorrow in Game 2. The Ned Yost team very much built around the bullpen and a lot of athletes. The Mariners will not see Chris Young in this game, and it seems like Young, Mike, during his time with the Mariners, somehow had this ballpark measured out to the inch. He knew exactly how far a fly ball could go and die at the warning track, as you can see Chris Young.
And he, of course, is a fly ball pitcher, so he had a lot of success pitching in this ballpark. We will not see him this weekend. You mentioned Ventura. There is a guy that can light up a radar gun. The Mariners are going to see a pretty good fastball tomorrow.
Ventura, one of the hardest throwers in the game. And we've seen the velocity so far tonight from Medlin, low 90s. More of a ground ball pitcher. In fact, his ground ball rate at 50%. That's just slightly above league average. You compare that to someone who's an extreme ground ball pitcher. Dallas Keuchel, we saw just the other night on this homestand. Keuchel, a 60% ground ball rate. So Medlin beneath him, but an above average ground ball pitcher, no doubt. Full count.
Not surprised to see the changeup again. As you look at all of his pitches, the fastball, the changeup, curveball, slider, his changeup has been his best pitch. Only hitting 250 off of his changeup. You mentioned being a ground ball pitcher. Changeup, almost 67% on the ground. Martin making him work. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. Just in the bottom of the 2nd inning, but already 43 pitches, 21 strikes for Medlin.
Walked to Oakey and Smith to begin the bottom of the 1st inning, then was able to retire the next 3 in order. Leadoff walk here to Seager, has sat down the last 2.
Pretty good job by Martin to spoil that changeup just off the outside corner. It does have a little bit of run to it. You can see it on the EQC tracer, the location of the 8th pitch in this at bat. But too close for him to take it, was able to foul it off.
Seager, the man at first base, 2 outs. And again, the 3-2. Another walk. That's the 4th tonight. And an inning and 2/3 from Chris Medlin. What a plate appearance there by Martin. Now we'll take a glance at our CenturyLink. What's next? The other half of our pitching matchup tomorrow. Wade Miley will be making his 5th career start against Kansas City. He saw him twice last year. Pitched very well. Both times quality starts against the Royals. In fact, he allowed just 1 run of those 2 starts last season against Kansas City. Miley coming off his best start of this season for the Mariners. All 4 base runners tonight for the Mariners have come on ball 4 as Oakey bends out of the way.
And for Medlin, having a tough time getting ahead of the hitters. He's faced 10 batters, only 3 first pitch strikes.
And he's gotten ball 1 out of 4 of the first 5 that he's faced in the 2nd inning. Seager at second base, Martin at first. Infante, short distance throw. And for the 2nd straight inning, the Mariners draw 2 walks and both men are stranded. We're off to the 3rd. Felix getting ready. Mariners and the Royals scoreless. Appropriately, as Felix up on the mound tonight here in the opening game of the series. Already a couple of strikeouts over the first 2 innings. Special edition Kings Court this evening, celebrating Felix as the Mariners' all-time strikeout leader. So a new K card, a new t-shirt as well in Kings Court. Omar Infante gets his first at bat tonight to lead off the top of the 3rd.
Aaron, as you and I were waiting for the start of this game, I had to chuckle a little bit because it's just awesome. Great crowd here tonight.
Gobbled up by Seager. Now number 1.
Well, the Kings Court is fantastic, and you love it, especially when Felix gets 2 strikes. But just Felix walking out of the bullpen towards the dugout, and the scene of that is one of the best experiences, I think, in baseball right now.
They put All Rise up on the video board. Mariners Vision.
This is just great. It's a show.
I think it gets back to the heart of the discussion. And it's something that we have, for fun, argued, and that's too strong of a word maybe, but made a point of saying over the years, and that is there is not a city that loves their superstar in this game more than Seattle loves Felix.
You see it every time he takes the mound here, or when he's even getting loose in the bullpen. And I think one of the things that makes it that way, and it is probably one of the coolest things about it, is Felix's reaction to it and his understanding of it and appreciation of it. He's talked about it many times.
Many years of Kings Court ahead of him. Felix ahead 0-2 to Dyson. Able to hold back. Mike, we mentioned it in the first inning, but what are you seeing tonight from Felix's changeup?
Well, for one, it looks as if it's a little bit firmer than he usually throws it. Tonight it's been 87, 88, maybe even 89 a couple of times, and the downward action that he gets on it. And he really tries to throw it in the middle of the plate, but he wants it down out of the strike zone to get him a chase. I think has been exceptional tonight. He's still trying to find the good curveball. And he's had a pretty good fastball tonight too. 91 miles an hour for him. As a hitter, with the lack of separation but the movement of his changeup tonight, it's going to be difficult for Kansas City to lay off it if he continues to keep it down.
It's 2-2. A soft flick. Martin full speed ahead, and he makes the catch.
And that was on another good changeup. Nice run and catch by Martin in center. Had to cover a lot of ground to get there.
2 up, 2 down. Time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Facts. You look at this. Go back to 1913 on your calendar. The lowest career ERA in April. Got a couple of Hall of Famers up there. Bob Feller, one of the all-time greats. Same story for Walter Johnson. Pete Alexander. And then the King, pitching awfully well. Entered tonight a 1.80 earned run average in April. You can see the career numbers there. Back to the top of the order, it is Escobar.
Alcides swung at the first pitch to start the game off. It was a fastball. Ended up flying out to center. He's an aggressive hitter. A lot of the Royals are.
Well, that really became a thing for the Royals last year, the playoffs, when Escobar would swing at the first pitch of a game. It just seemed to happen that the Royals would go on to win that game. So there was always a lot of cheers from inside the Royals dugout when that would happen.
Perfect location on that last fastball.
Doesn't get better than that. 2-1. Trying to butt his way aboard. 2-2.
Watching the postseason and the Royals working their way through it. You mentioned Escobar swinging at the first pitch. It really didn't matter what kind of pitch it was either. You could start him with a slow curveball, a changeup, a slider, or even the fastball, and he was going to go to work.
He was ready to hack.
He's hacking from the time he leaves the on-deck circle. Court ready for another strikeout.
The 2-2. Full count. If Escobar can reach, Moustakas is on deck. Felix 2 strikeouts so far tonight over the first 2 innings. The only hit for the Royals, a Hosmer infield single. Appeal does not go. Milwaukee, the crew chief. First walk tonight for Felix. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Very popular college night here this evening from Safeco Field. Got a lot going on. College night. Macklemore was here to throw out the first pitch. Beard Hat night, the special Kings Court happening spot here downtown in Sono.
And a nice crowd.
Well-dressed crowd. Some even bring their own bobbleheads. 2 outs. Escobar with speed at first base for Moustakas. Only the second base runner so far tonight for Kansas City. Thrown out at first base. Iannetta keeping a close watch.
And you can see the Mariners have the shift on. Kyle Seager the only one on the left side of the infield. Cano out on the grass.
The numbers last year for Moustakas were startling compared to the year prior. 2014, he barely hit over 210. He was looking more and more like a #2 overall pick bust for Kansas City. And then over the offseason, dedicated himself to hitting away from the shift. He was buried by the shift in 2014. Last year, an all-star, hit nearly 285. Which I guess, Mike, proves the point. It can be done.
It can be done, and we were talking about it the other day, Aaron. And I think that you're going to see more and more hitters take that approach. The shifts, they're going to continue. They're not going to stop until you start to beat it. And even tonight in this one, it's Seth Smith. He's somebody that they shift on all the time. Tonight, they weren't doing that. Now, Escobar, the shortstop, was playing towards the middle, but he wasn't on the other side of second base. That's because Seth, especially with 2 strikes, has been able to hit the ball the other way and pick up some base hits. So I think the hitters are going to make the adjustments. They're going to have to.
It was a remarkable turnaround for Moustakas. If somebody would have told you at the end of 2014 that he would have been an all-star the next season, probably few would have believed him. 2 outs and a man at first. Good stop by Iannetta, 2-1. Speaking of shifts, Tim Bogard, Mariners pitch coach, going over some things. Strike call.
And that was the good curveball from Felix.
Now this year, opponents hitting .091. Against that curveball from Felix, batting .088 when he throws anything off speed. 2 outs, 1 on, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There goes Escobar, throw down to second, and it squirts out of the glove of Marte. Escobar taking third. Meanwhile, the count goes full to Moustakas.
I think that would be a stolen base, probably an E2. You see Marte, the ball was tailing back into the runner. You see it tail back in the runner. He does the right thing. He tries to get out in front of it. It was right off the end of his glove. He's trying to create some room from him in the runner. It looked as if that throw, if it would have been on the base, they probably would have been able to get him. Good try by Marte.
And it is an error on Iannetta. And a steal. Second straight inning, a man at third base. Tight to the line, Lind holds the border, and there it is, out number 3 on Moustakas. Second straight inning, the Royals strand a man 90 feet from home. We go to the bottom of the third. Mariners, Royals scoreless. Our way to the bottom of the third inning. We will see Nelson Cruz hit this frame. And speaking of the boomstick, tomorrow is Nelson Cruz boomstick bobblehead night, free to the first 20,000 fans. Thanks to Root Sports. Please note the new 7:10 start time. Make sure to arrive early. Get your hands on this great collectible at themariners.com for tickets. Chris Medlin to face hitters 2, 3, and 4 in the Mariners order. It starts off with Seth Smith, who walked back in the first.
Aaron, we were talking about the shift and how many times teams will shift on Seth Smith. Almost always. And you can see Escobar now still on the left side of the diamond. Yeah, he's shading towards the middle of the field. And Seth has picked up a lot of hits there. But I think it's interesting. You see him moving now on the counts. And that's something I talked to Tim Bogar about. And he was telling me that when you look at the shifts, and I guess we've seen a lot of it over the last 3 years, a lot of teams changing. And that's exactly what he was talking about. That it's so new and they're still collecting so much data on it that as the season moves on, the Mariners will be making a lot of adjustments accordingly to the different hitters. So somebody that they're shifting on early, whether it's somebody from Houston or Anaheim, they may not later, or maybe game situation, or maybe the type of pitcher that's on the mound. It's all information that they're still trying to put together. It's fascinating to look at it all and where it's going.
One random at-bat stands out from earlier this season in the first homestand. Danny Valencia, they had the shift on for Valencia. In his first at-bat, he went the opposite way. His second at-bat, the shift was not nearly as extreme. And some of that might have to do with the pitcher up on the mound.
Well, and to your point, and somebody that Tim Bogar had brought up to me was Jed Lowry. He had beat the shift a couple of different times. He said, we will make an adjustment to that.
2 balls and 2 strikes is Smith. Looking to reach base for the second time in as many tries tonight. And a full count.
I find it interesting the way Kansas City is going about it is they didn't have the shift on, and now with 2 strikes they put it on. You would think that with 2 strikes he would probably be more inclined to hit the ball the other way, but for the last couple of pitches Escobar has moved over to the right side of the infield.
Dropped by Perez. Still 3-2 on Smith, sitting on 99 career home runs. We saw Kyle Seager hit his 100th homer not long ago. Smith looking to do the same thing at some point soon.
No surprise, this will be the 9th pitch of this at bat.
Saw 7 pitches in his first plate appearance, resulted in a walk.
How many did he see on Wednesday?
Mike, he saw 32 pitches. Nelson Cruz saw 30. Line drive. Good stab there by Infante. Tough throw in time.
When Infante bounced it, I thought maybe Seth would beat it out. Take a look at the replay. It looks like it almost hits the, it does. It hits the cut of the grass and bounced a little bit higher than he expected. Wasn't able to get anything on this throw. Long bounce to first to Hosmer, but it clearly beats him. Again, Kansas City's defense, #1 in the American League.
Fantastic play by Infante. 1 out. Here is Cano. I mentioned that Robinson has now homered in back-to-back games, and that he had homered in 3 straight games to begin the season. That is the longest such streak of his career. 3 straight games with a home run, so a chance to tie that mark here tonight. So far this homestand, Cano 5 hits in 12 at-bats with 10 RBIs. Scorched it but foul. In fact, for Robbie, you look at his 8 home runs and his batting average beneath 250 right now. Over a third of his hits have been homers.
And I think that that last pitch is a good example of the adjustment that he has made and being healthy. Slider right on the inside corner, maybe just off the inside corner, and he's able to turn on it.
This gets a piece. Perez will finish it off. Out number 2. Every seat is a good one on Link Light Rail, so ride in from their newest stations on Capitol Hill or at the UW. Schedules available at soundtransit.org. That was the only at-bat so far tonight from Metlin where he has thrown exclusively strikes. He's walked 4 so far, has the first 2 sacked down, now facing Nelson Cruz.
You can see 60 pitches, 33 strikes, 27 balls. That's not the ratio that you want. He's faced 13 batters, first pitch strike to only 5 of them. And the odd thing about it is he has 4 walks, and the Mariners are still looking for their first hit.
Mariners stranded 2 in scoring position in the first. They stranded a runner at first and second base in the second. As we mentioned in the first inning, Metlin is not a familiar foe. Many have not seen him in this Mariners lineup. Firm ground ball taken easily by Moustakas, and for the first time tonight the Mariners are retired in order. We're through 3 innings here in game 1 of this 3-game set with Kansas City. Felix coming back out. He's ready to go in the 4th. Tonight, Mariners and the Royals scoreless as we go to the top of the 4th. Well, for every strikeout recorded by a Mariners pitcher at Safeco Field, Halden America Line will make a donation to Seattle Children's Hospital with a commitment of $25,000 for the 2016 season. The Mariners thank Halden America for their continued support of our community. Felix has stranded a man at third base in each of the last 2 innings. He retired the Royals in order in the first on just 11 pitches. Facing Lorenzo Cain, the number 3 hitter for Kansas City to start the 4th. Cain has really struggled lately. Ned Yost gave him Wednesday night off, the series finale against the Angels, and of course a day off yesterday for the Royals here in Seattle. So he is rested. But for Cain, just 6 hits his last 37 at bats. Felix with 1 walk, 2 strikeouts so far. We were mentioning earlier, this is not an easy team to strike out or to walk for that matter. They are tied for 27th in baseball in strikeouts, meaning only 2 teams have fewer. the Giants and the Angels. Kane, Hosmer, and Morales here at the top of the fourth. The opposite way, slaps it over towards Smith. And a base hit for Lorenzo Cain. Now the Royals have now had traffic on the bases now for 3 straight innings.
And Cain ends up hitting a pretty good pitch. Fastball right on the outside corner at the knees. And a 3-1 count. Didn't try to do too much with it. Just going with the pitch.
That brings in Eric Hosmer, Gold Glove first baseman for Kansas City. Infield singled in the second. That extended his hitting streak to now 18 games, a career best.
And Felix throwing over to first. Cain with 2 stolen bases on the year.
Time called for a moment. The Royals entered tonight in second place in the American League Central. They're 12-9. They're 3 games in back of the White Sox, who have been off to just a phenomenal start. The White Sox 16-7. They have one of the great surprises in baseball this year. That is Matt Latos and their rotation. Latos with a .74 earned run average so far this month. One of the many reasons why the White Sox playing so well. Over at Cain. Felix has put up really strong numbers against the Royals over the course of his career. Cain, safe.
And this is one of the areas that Felix has worked hard at. And is doing a much better job of holding runners on at first. He has quick feet. But more importantly, he pays attention, trying to give Chris Iannetta every opportunity to throw out a base steal.
0-2. For Felix, tonight marks his 13th career start against Kansas City. Lifetime, Felix has an ERA just a smidge over 3 against the Royals. In fact, he has struck out more Kansas City Royals than he has allowed hits. Made 1 start against Kansas City last year. You can see the numbers lifetime against KC. 4 earned runs over 6 2/3 last season in his lone start against Kansas City. Felix looking for strikeout number 3. He's really holding Cain at first base. Got it.
This is going to be a fastball, 90 miles an hour. That's a good 2-seamer going tonight. Right at the knees.
You got Cain to strike out on a fastball looking back at the first. Used the changeup to get Perez in the second. 3 strikeouts now. Facing former teammate Kendrys Morales.
Morales grounding out to second his first time up, and he is a double play candidate. It does not run well.
And to center field, Martin on a couple of hops. Cain, who singled to begin the inning, down to second base, and Morales his first hit tonight. Well, time now for our Delta Airlines Keep Climbing standings. Rangers now with 13 wins. entered today 12-10 as the Mariners a game back, the Angels 2 games back. And these Royals helping out the Angels as Anaheim was able to sweep Kansas City in Anaheim to begin this road trip for Kansas City. First pitch misses to Gordon.
This will be the 3rd inning in a row where Felix has had a runner in scoring position. The Royals so far 0 for 4. Again, they came into the game hitting .214 as a team.
Kane the man at second base, Morales at first. I know, Mike, you mentioned the double play ball. That has been a problem for Kansas City so far this year. They've bounced into 21 double plays. Only the Pirates and the Angels have grounded into more so far this year.
And a big part of that, we've been talking about it throughout the game, is that they're so aggressive. And I think if you have some decent off-speed pitches that you can throw down, maybe just out of the strike zone, their tendency is to swing at it. And typically, that's going to end up on the ground.
Time call.
For Felix and his changeup, when they do hit it, they hit it on the ground 81% of the time.
That's remarkable. Ground ball, Cano. Trying to get Gordon at first base. Tons of time. It arrives there for the double play. Exactly what Felix was hoping to dial up. And the Royals strand a man in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 4th, scoreless. Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Steel. To find your local Steel dealer, visit steeldealer.com. By Country Financial, visit ownyourfuture.com. And by CHI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partners in health. Learn to stay Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org. Sun setting here in downtown Seattle as Adam Lynn gets set to lead off the Mariners' 4th inning. Wow, on Beard Hat night, this guy taking it to a whole new level. Wonder if did he give the Beard Hat back to the usher at Safeco Field when he walked through the gates? No need for the giveaway. Lynn hops on the first pitch and fouls it away. You think about all the left-handed pitching that the Mariners saw, Mike, over the first week or 2 weeks of the season. It's been nice to see Lynn start to get some regular at-bats.
No, you're right, and we talked about it, his batting average moving up. It's tough. You start a season 1 for 17, and the at-bats are sporadic, pinch hitting. But then the Mariners ran into some right-handers, and coming into the game today, hitting .259. Again, hit his first home run on Wednesday, so hopefully his timing is getting a little bit closer, because he is somebody that can do some damage, hit the ball in the seats and drive in runs.
He's been one of the most deadly hitters against right-handed pitching in recent years. One out for Kyle Seager. Mariners looking for their first hit tonight. They've drawn 4 walks against Medlin. That has continued to be a problem here tonight for the Royals starter. Medlin walked 3 in his last start, could not escape the 4th. Soft pop up. Gordon, medium depth, round number 2. 4 pitches and 2 outs so far. Well, fans, our annual Ultimate Northwest Fan Contest continues, presented by Country Financial. Are you the ultimate Northwest fan in the state of Washington? If so, you have until midnight tomorrow to submit a photo and story on our website at rootsports.com/ultimate-fan. And you could win a VIP trip for 2 to Seattle in September, a personalized jersey, and more. So be sure to get those entries in, because on Sunday we're moving on to the state of Oregon. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. Oh, 1 to Iannetta. Mariners stranded 2 runners in scoring position in the first. They stranded 2 runners first and second base in the second.
For Medlin, he is starting to get a feel for his slider. His fastball command has progressively gotten better. He really struggled with it at the start of the game. He had to throw a lot of pitches to get through the first 2 innings. You can see now 71 pitches, 40 strikes for him.
Strike 3 call. And Medlin has sat down the last 7 Mariners in order. Beautiful night here in Seattle as we make our way to the 5th, scoreless.
The Brewers. Marlins pitchers came close, and they were led tonight by a former Cougar, Adam Conley. 16th big league start, 7 2/3 innings of no-hit baseball, but at 116 pitches, he had enough. He was drafted by the Marlins in the second round of the 2011 draft from Washington State. First Cougar to play in Major League Baseball since Mark Hendrickson. Back upstairs.
Good stuff, Tom. Boy, that was close. Jonathan Lucroy breaking up that no-hitter, 1 out in the 9th inning. That is the deepest that we have seen a no-hitter go this year and not be completed. Remember, Ross Stripling went 7 1/3 in his debut, coming off of Tommy John. And Dave Roberts, the first-year skipper for the Dodgers, had to make that decision to pull Stripling. Then Chris Hatcher came out of the bullpen, and first batter he faced went deep on him.
And right now, Chris Medlin no hitting the Mariners, but unfortunately for him, he's thrown 71 pitches to get through 4 innings.
Two-one to Perez. Good curveball to make it 2-2. Felix with 3 strikeouts. 2 of them have come looking tonight. Both of those on the fastball. Full count to Perez. Now Perez is not a batter that walks very often. Felix would like to retire Perez, or at least not allow him to reach base with ball 4. And a misses. Perez only 13 walks last year. That's his 4th this season. First time for Perez on base tonight. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 devices. Includes a free subscription to At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Visit Mariners.com for details. Leadoff man aboard for the 2nd straight inning of the 3rd time tonight for Kansas City. Omar Infante climbs in.
Kyle Seager in on the grass at 3rd.
Back to Felix on to first base. Sacrifice moving Perez into scoring position.
Now it will be 4 innings in a row. Kansas City has had a runner in scoring position. How much of a surprise to see a bunt right there. The Royals are 5th in the American League in sacrifice bunting.
Does this bring up the old term, Mike, of stress pitches for Felix?
I think so, yeah. The good news for him again is Kansas City's aggressive, so he's been able to get the outs quickly, but he's had to work really hard to get those outs, meaning the location has to be good, his pitch selection has to be on point. And another good play by Iannetta behind the plate.
And when you're talking about a pitcher throwing stress pitches, the point of that is not every pitch is created equal.
No, you're right, but the good news with Felix is when he is building up his arm strength and getting his work in, he's always a max effort guy. Everything he throws with such conviction that when he gets in these situations, it's really not that much different for him.
Land across the grass. Seager gets the tag.
Smart play. Aaron, so many times as a base runner when you're at second, you take it for granted when the ball's hit to the right side that you're just going to go. But Perez does not run well, and Adam Lind, playing even with the bag, has plenty of time to get the ball to Kyle as he puts the tag on Perez. The Royals are now 0 for 6 runners in scoring position. But you can see Adam even taking his time on the play just to make sure he makes an accurate throw. And I would say this too, there aren't a lot of first basemen that'll try to make that play.
Take the safe out.
Take this, yeah, they would normally just go to the bag, be the second out, and the runner would move up to 3rd. I know when I played with Don Mattingly, he would do it. John Olerud, who was playing here, he would certainly do it. But most of them would just take the out.
Brings in Escobar for the 3rd time. And aside from being very decisive and having a strong and accurate arm in that case, it helped out that ball got right to him.
No, you're right. He didn't have to move at all. Which we'll have to pay attention to Dyson at first. Again, the Royals like to run. 5th in the American League in stolen bases, and Dyson one of the faster players in the American League. He has 3 stolen bases on the year.
Time call. Called by the home plate umpire Vic Carapazza, behind home plate tonight in his 6th year. Makes his home in Florida. All-Star game umpire back in 2014. That was when it was at Target Field. Runner takes off, pitch a strike, a rocket down to second base. Dyson in with steal number 4.
Well, he gets a good jump and a pretty good pitch for Iannetta to throw on the pitches up out over the plate. And you can see the speed of Dyson as he slides into second.
Two outs, the man in scoring position. The Kings 0-2, makes it 1-2. Felix tonight making start number 5 of the season. Brought with him an ERA of just 1.80. Look at Dyson and the 1-2. Dyson take it off.
I think that was more of a timing play for Dyson. The last couple of pitches, Felix is basically giving him a look and then gone to home because he had a really good jump that time. You'll see it, pitchers sometimes they'll look once, twice, maybe 3 times just to mix things up with a runner at second base. And the base runner, of course, is going to try to look for some sort of pad.
Again, the 1-2. Out to have a chat with Felix. Had something to do with the man at second base, Mike?
I don't think so, because it's Cano that is holding him. Marte, you can see playing over towards the hole. Might be more on the positioning of Marte because he's playing over, and if you notice the last few foul balls have all gone down the right field line, and maybe Marte wants to know, one, how Felix is going to pitch more, 2, do you want me to move more towards the middle of the diamond? You can see the right side of the infield, big hole over there, and that's where he's been fouling pitches on, down the right field line.
Weak wave, and he just gets a piece. So you can see how much Escobar just has to fight to stay alive here.
This is on the hard curveball, barely gets a piece of it. We were talking about the shifts earlier, but on their defense, the pitcher, the position players, they have the option to change from what the scouting report is. Something that Tim Bogart was telling me. They can move around during an at-bat if they see something or need to make an adjustment.
Dyson going to third, ground ball, foul.
And you would obviously like to keep Dyson at second base. But I think that for Felix right now, the most important thing is this hitter. And he's aware of that. Dyson on a base hit is going to score from second almost as easy as going from third. So I don't think Felix is paying that much attention to him. He's sitting here with a couple of outs, trying to get the hitter out.
Now Felix will work with a man in scoring position in the second, in the third, in the fourth, and again here in the fifth. Every inning but the first when he faced the minimum. The Kings 1-2, and it continues.
And it was interesting right there, Aaron. I was looking down into the dugout, and I can see Manny Acta. And Manny Acta on that last play was getting Kyle Seager's attention, telling him, Kyle's playing back obviously with 2 strikes and a couple of outs, telling Kyle, do not cover third, just stay there. And the reason why he does that is he doesn't want to cut down his range or open up that hole over on the left side. He wants him to just play defense. So they were just going, there's Manny Acta, does a great job. But he told Kyle, just hold your ground, do not cover.
Got him swinging into the other batter's box. A long battle. Felix the victor. Strikeout number 4. We're on our way to the bottom of the 5th inning. Ketel Marte trying to lengthen a 7-game hitting streak. Then it'll be Leonis Martin. Then back to the top of the order. Norioki, Mariners, and the Royals scoreless. Rockies. We make our way to the bottom of the 5th inning, scoreless with Kansas City. If you had the mobile app from Washington's lottery, you could be checking out winning numbers while rooting for the home team late today. 3 hits in this game so far. They have all been singles. They have all been off of Royals bats. Chris Medlin holding down the Mariners so far as he faces Ketel Marte and fires in ball 1. 4 walks for Medlin, just 1 strikeout. Bunt is popped up. Perez, and some second life for Ketel Marte.
Well, the only chance he had to get a base hit was to take the bunt to the right side of the infield. Moustakas, the third baseman, was well in on the grass, so there was no chance to try him. That's exactly what Marte was trying to do, take it towards the first baseman, Hosmer.
Marte behind at the count now, 1-2. Riding a 7-game hitting streak entering tonight. Six left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight, plus Marte, a switch hitter. So 7 batting from the left side against the righty Medlin. And Marte down on strikes. Well, the next college night is Friday, May 13th at 7:10. Students with ID can enjoy extended happy hour specials, including $6 beers and half-off pizza up until first pitch. Tickets are only $12 and available only at mariners.com/college. A lot of lefties, Mike, and that changeup, it seems like, has really been working for Medlin.
It has been, and they've had different speeds, so it's been anywhere from 83 to 86 miles an hour. And Martin going to try the same thing, take a bump with him. Gentleman with speed in the lineup, trying to find a way to get on base.
On time, Martin thought the time was called, although the home plate umpire Carapazza never signaled it. Maybe fortunate Medlin didn't just come up with a pitch. 1-1.
And again, as a hitter, you can ask for timeout. Home plate umpire does not have to give it to you. You can see the first pitch strike percentage. Not good, just 39%. We were talking about Perez earlier, the 3 gold gloves and how good he is behind home plate. One of the things that I like that he does on the pitches away, he'll get on that outside corner going back inside this time. But he'll turn his body just a little bit in towards the plate. So a lot of those pitches that are just a little bit off the plate away, he can steal strikes doing that because it appears that it's on the corner.
Once this one low, 2-2. Well, speaking with one umpire last year following a game where the umpire was behind home plate behind Perez. The simple question is, he's so enormous.
He is.
It can make it difficult for an umpire to get a good view of things. High towering pop-up. Infante dancing back for out number 2. And the umpire said that the incredible thing about Perez is that when he needs to get big, right, when there's a ball in the dirt, he needs to block a pitch, he can do that very easily. That's very natural to him. But when he needs to get small and show that strike zone off easily, he somehow, for as enormous as he is, has a tendency to be able to shrink and give the umpire a good window.
And I think a big part of that, anybody that's a quality catcher and plays good defense, I think more times than not, when you watch him, the way that he catches the ball and holds it, he's so strong back there that when the ball hits his glove, his glove hand does not move around. Now, he may on a pitch that's off the plate that he knows it's going to be, but if it's close, he can just hold it there. And that's something, well, we saw Dan Wilson here. Danny was really good at that. And it's the way that they try to teach him, but not everybody has the ability to do that. The movement of the pitch will typically keep that glove moving.
2 balls and a strike now to Aoki. Well, the hand strength has to just be off the charts to do something like that.
And the way they position their glove.
Aoki ahead of the count, 3-1. Aoki walked in the first inning. 4 walks tonight from Medlin. Twisting pop up towards Moustakas. Foul ground. Chris Medlin. 5 no-hit innings so far tonight in game 1 of 3 versus the Royals. Felix has held Kansas City off the board so far. We go to the top of the 6th, scoreless.
As we get ready for the 6th inning, time for a little hashtag Where I Root, presented by Alaska Airlines. Meredith and friends, yes, in fact, it is a beautiful night for baseball, especially when you got your beard hats on. And they're not alone. A lot of people wearing them tonight, including Kirsten. Beard hat night at the Mariners game. I think they can pull that look off. Garrett, fear the beard. Not sure which one's Garrett, but we fear them both. Upstairs to Aaron and Mike.
You got it, Tom. We start at the top of the 6th inning. Felix versus Moustakas. No score. Into the shift. Easy play for Cano. 1 pitch, 1 out. I'll be sure to stick around after the game for Mariners postgame, presented by Delta Airlines. Have a chance to hear from the manager, Scott Service. Also Felix Hernandez and others, as we are in the midst of game 1 of 3 against the defending World Series champion Kansas City Royals. Oh, Mike, we can't help but notice in recent years how second basemen around the game have become accustomed to making a throw from that angle in shallow right field to first base. And under Jerry Dipoto and this new regime in Seattle, the Mariners are employing shifts not just, of course, in the major league level, but in the minor leagues as well. Right. This is something that is going all the way down to short season Everett, even over to the Dominican League. 0-2 quickly on Kane. And this is something that will be taught now to very young second basemen, that throw.
Well, which is a smart thing to do because you never practice it. And I think now that is changing. Guys are starting to take some ground balls in a normal position, but then they'll also go out on the grass 10, 15 feet and field some ground balls and throw it to first just to try to get used to it. The other part of that too is you have to get used to, when you get in the shifts, the distance between you and the person to your left and your right, because you have to know who can cover what. And we've already seen it this year a couple of times with first basemen that are fielding the ball having to go to the right side, and Kane will get another base hit, both hits going into right field. when the second baseman is standing right there, much easier play just to let him. But they're just not used to that, and it's because of the shift. Because when you shift and you bring the shortstop over, the second baseman is going to get closer to the line and closer to the first baseman. So you have to get used to that too.
I mean, I would think that'd be a very awkward throw. The first couple of times for a second baseman coming up through school, and maybe their team never put the shift on.
We saw it on the first homestand with Cano. He had to go to his right on the backhand, and he was well out onto the grass, and he got rid of the ball quickly and maybe rushed it a little bit, and it was because of the distance he was away from first base. We haven't seen it since, and he's obviously made that adjustment, but I thought that he ended up picking up an error there because he was in the shift and not used to it, and maybe rushed it a little bit.
Oki right in front of the warning track. Hosmer out of the first pitch.
And well done by Aoki. That was right in front of the warning track, as you were explaining, Aaron, and he ended up getting it in quickly because Kane was tagging the entire time. Actually ran about halfway down to second base until he saw the throw come in quickly and on line.
Well, Felix got Moustakas on the first pitch. Same story for Hosmer. Kane was singled into right field. He was at first base for Morales.
And Morales picked up the base hit on the first pitches last time out. Line drive into center field.
There goes Kane. Down to second. Tag applied. Got him. Iannetta showing off the arm. Ned Yost might want to take a look at it. He'll say on second thought, go to the dugout. Kane down at second base, as that'll be it for the top of the sixth. Felix ends up facing the minimum as we take another look. Just in the nick of time. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning. Mariners and the Royals all zeros. Their first hit off of tonight's starter Chris Medlin. Seth Smith will lead off the bottom of the sixth inning. Full house here tonight from Safeco Field. A beautiful night for the opening act of this three-game series against Kansas City. First pitch strike to Smith. Teed off high to right field. Dyson running out of room. He's at the wall. And it's gone. Home run number 100 for Seth Smith gives the Mariners a 1-0 lead.
We'll take another look at the swing by Seth Smith. Towering home run out to right. And the pitch. A little two-seam fastball, just 86 miles an hour. Seth, I think, wasn't sure if it was going to have enough carry to it because he hit it so high. His third home run on the year.
First hit for the Mariners tonight, a home run. Working on that second one. The next pitch. You know, Mike, I think that leads to a great point on Seth Smith. There it is. We were mentioning earlier, Smith in Wednesday's finale against the Astros saw 32 pitches over the course of the night, which was most by any hitter on either side. Tonight we saw him with that 9-pitch at bat robbed of a base hit by Infante in the shift. But it's not as if Smith is just up there looking to see a lot of pitches. If he sees a pitch early in that bat, just like we saw Adam Lynn do the other night on the first pitch that he homered on, we'll jump on it.
Well, there's a couple of ways to look at it. And I think we've heard it a lot, and I know a lot of people look at it as more on the pitching side of things, but it's commanding the strike zone. And Seth will be aggressive. If he gets the pitch in the middle of the plate early, he's going to swing at it. Now, he may foul it off or he may hit it right at somebody. But the thing that is, I think, special about him is a lot when he gets down in the count and a lot of really good pitches are thrown on the corner. He spoils so many of them. And then finally he'll get a pitch that he can handle, hit it hard, and hopefully get a base hit. And that's the reason why he's been around in this league for a long time. But you're right, Aaron. He's not up there looking for the perfect pitch every time. If it's something that he wants and he can handle, and it's the first, second pitch, and this time it was the second pitch, he's going to take a swing at it. And that's the way. I think that's a smart way to hit. Not everybody can do it and do it as well as Seth does, but that's exactly the way Edgar Martinez. I've talked to Edgar about it. He wants them ready to hit early in the count. If it's in the middle of the plate, go ahead, fire on it. But Seth, I think, is really good at that.
This is Clinton to right field. Dyson sprinting, and he's able to make the catch. Fantastic catch by Dyson for round number 1. We'll go back and take a look at that home run by Seth Smith and the exact landing zone of career home run number 100.
And again, it's so high, it gave Dyson plenty of time to get there. Just couldn't quite get up high enough as the fan will end up getting the baseball. Just out of the reach for Dyson. Again, for Seth, his third home run this year, his 100th home run on his career.
See if Seth might be able to get that ball back. Seager was able to get his back the other night when he hit career home run number 100. Both have reached that milestone. 0-1 to Cruz. We see so many young hitters, Mike, with one swing. It's the same swing, whether it's a 3-0 count, an 0-2 count, or anything in between. And with this new mindset for the Mariners this year of controlling the zone, see the Z, it's so important to be able to make contact. If you're a guy with just one swing, regardless of the count, all 9 innings, that can't cut it. One swing, or more importantly, one thought process throughout the at-bat. And we just saw that with the Houston Astros. We were talking about how much they strike out. They're a bunch of free swingers, and it doesn't matter to them whether they have 2 strikes or not. They're still going to try to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Now, they do that at a pretty good rate, but they also strike out a ton because of it. Two. And Nelson is also a good example of it. The other day, Wednesday, he sees 30 pitches. And for Nelson, he's up there trying to do some damage. That's what's so impressive. But because he can change, and we've seen it, runners in scoring position, or the way that they're defending him, or the way that they're going to pitch him, he'll take his base hit into right from time to time. And it's a nice, controlled, easy swing. Full count. Now Medlin went 5 no-hit innings, and on the second pitch of the 6th, Smith took him deep by just enough to right field. Ball 4 to Cruz. That's walk number 5 tonight for Medlin. A 1-out walk. Well, we want you to join the conversation for up-to-the-date game information and live interaction. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Check us out and stay connected with Root Sports. That's going to be it for Chris Medlin. He goes 5 1/3 innings tonight, 103 pitches. We'll step aside for this pitching change. Difference of the game, and Mike, career home run number 100% Smith.
And it's the first hit for the Mariners in this one, coming here in the 6th inning. And that will give the Mariners the lead.
Some run support for Felix, and a new pitcher. It is the lone left-hander in Ned Yost's bullpen, Danny Duffy, coming on.
This will be his 10th appearance on the year, 4.35 ERA, 10 strikeouts, 4 walks, and 10 1/3. Opponents hitting .225. He's given up 1 home run.
We've seen Duffy in the rotation over the years for Kansas City, but he's really found some pretty good success working in relief for the Royals. Hard throwing left-hander. You can see first pitch 97.
He also has a pretty good curveball.
Quickly Lynn behind 0-2. So Medlin went 5 no-hit innings, then the home run to Smith, the only hit, the only run that he's allowed to this point. He's responsible for Cruz, the man at first base. Lynn looking for his first hit tonight, a couple of ground ball outs. Well outside. Duffy last year made 24 starts for Kansas City. Finished the year with an ERA just over 8. Still 2-2. Duffy, a pretty high round draft pick by the Royals, taken 3rd overall back in 2007. And he was part of the many draft classes which has helped led to such great Royal success in recent years. Got him swinging. Lynn down on 98-mile-an-hour heat for out number 2. Time now for our CenturyLink What's Next, and a reminder that first pitch time has been moved from 6:10 to 7:10 tomorrow night. We'll hit the airwaves at 6:30 here on Root Sports. Wade Miley making start number 5 of the season, coming off his best start of the year. His first win, 7 1/3 third innings in Anaheim. Face off against hard throwing right-hander Yordano Ventura. Strike 1 to Seager. Pardon me, ball 1.
Missed with the breaking ball. See if Kyle can get a good fastball to hit right here. And it was 97 miles an hour in the middle of the plate.
You can get away with that location a little bit more if you're throwing 97.
Yeah, 97, 98. I had to chuckle a little bit when you said that he was a number 3 pick. Left-hander throwing 98. I can see why.
The third round.
Oh, third round. Excuse me.
One hop, chest high to Hosmer, and Cruz left stranded. But a run in. Seth Smith with a leadoff bomb into right field. We're through 6 innings. The Mariners strike first, 1-0. Kings Court in full session here tonight as we start the top of the 7th. Felix has gone 6 scoreless so far. Some run support by Seth Smith. Second pitch of the bottom of the 6th inning. And Mike, we mentioned it at the very start of this game when we saw Felix coming out, the fastball tickling 91, the changeup at 89, and just a ton of movement, even more than usual it seems like tonight on the changeup.
Well, and I think he's throwing it a little bit harder tonight. Also had a pretty good curveball. And the Mariners have the shift on with Morales hitting. Again, Morales a base hit back up the middle his last time up a line drive into center field.
Good movement for strike 1.
And we'll get the strike on the curveball again.
When you talk about a curveball, there's normally 2 factors in play, right? You have movement and you have velocity. And normally you give one to gain the other. You have a slow curveball with a ton of movement, a lot of bend to it, or you have just the opposite of that, shorter yet sharper curveball. And Felix somehow is able to get both. Able to throw a pretty firm curveball, 79, 81 miles an hour, with still some good bend.
Well, the difference, I think, Aaron, is we just saw the one at 78 for the strike for him. That's the one that has a little more break to it, but not quite as sharp. And the other one, you'll see him, he'll try to bounce it right off the home plate to get him to swing at it, chase it in the dirt.
Felix is 2-2. And a full count. bounced a curveball in that time.
We'll put you to work from this start till his next start. You're going to have to do some research and give me a spin rate on that. Get over for a strike and the one that he gets a strikeout.
Mike, that's a fine assignment. I like it.
I thought you'd like that.
Nobody there. A foul ball, not by much. Still trying to acquire one of those spin rate machines. They're a little pricey, even on eBay, Mike. They're tough to come by. They're large too.
Let's do some homework.
Still 3-2 on Morales. Kendrick's really had a revival last season, one of the best years of his career. Little looper, tough play. Oakie's able to come in and make it on the run. You know, Mike, if we go back to the top of the 6th inning, the inning ended on a caught stealing. Only the 4th time that a Royals runner has been caught stealing, and this is how it happened.
Well, you take a look at Chris Iannetta. This is the curveball again. Tough pitch to throw, and especially with a left-handed hitter up there, but you can see how quickly he gets back to his feet and gets the release. And you never know in a game like this, Mariners up 1-0. That might have been the play. It ended the inning. If Kane is safe, with Morales hitting, he gets a base hit. You never know what that one play is going to be that saves the ball game for you. And I thought that was exceptional for Chris Iannetta because it was on the curveball, one of the slower pitches Felix throw, because of the location and him having to dig it out and then get back to his feet and make a strong throw on a speeding runner to end the inning. And if he would have made it, that would have made it 5 innings in a row that Felix would have had a runner in scoring position. So Chris, we were talking about stress pitches, saved him some of those by making that play.
The numbers tonight for the Royals: 14 steals entering this evening, only 3 caught stealings. One of the best steal percentages in baseball entering tonight. 2-1.
Felix now at 92 pitches. His season high is 106. Nobody getting loose in the Mariner pen.
2-2. Another sharp curveball. King's Court's ready. The 2-2 off the plate. Felix looking for strikeout number 5. Instead, ball 4. Why not walk to Gordon? First time he has reached base. Well, make your voice heard. Nominate your favorite plays of the week by tweeting us using the hashtag RootFanFave. Watch the Mariners pregame show every Sunday to find out the top 5 fan favorite plays of the week. Plus, each month, one lucky fan will win a Coors Light Refresherator just for participating. For official rules, visit rootsports.com. Tying run is at first base. Perez tees off on the first pitch. A lot of hang time. Noki making out number 2. Mike, you were talking about Felix working with a man in scoring position as we take another look at this swing.
We talked about it earlier with Perez. He's a very aggressive hitter. First pitch breaking balls, it flies out to left.
It's remarkable to think about. It's only been 4 starts for Felix this year. These numbers might be a little extreme, but I do think it's pretty representative of Felix. With runners in scoring position this year, opposing hitters hitting .043 against Felix Hernandez as he now faces Infante. And that is, it's almost kind of like hitting with runners in scoring position. It seems like, Mike, it's more of a mindset than an ability.
Well, there's a couple of things that come in play there. One of them is Felix will never give in to a hitter. We saw him walk in a run this year on an off-speed pitch because he refuses to give in to a hitter. So that makes it difficult for the hitter because you can't sit on one pitch regardless of the count or the situation. Felix never affords him that luxury, and it's one of the things that makes him great. It's why I think the way that he competes, especially in those situations, especially having years of experience of pitching with a lack of run support, he's just not going to give in and make it easy on the hitter at all.
Ground ball, backhand, Marte, over to Cano. They'll get Gordon there, out number 3. Felix, 7 scoreless innings tonight. In front of a full house and a packed Kings Court. Mariners have the lead 1-0. It's not a stretch to think you could win Washington's lottery. What would you do if you won? Download the app and play today. Mariners leading 1-0 as we make our way to the bottom of the 7th. Beautiful night here from downtown Seattle. Well, join us for what will be one of the biggest events in Mariners history when Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. has his number retired. Guarantee yourself a seat to this can't-miss event when you purchase a 20-game plan or 10-game flex pack. Visit mariners.com/Griffey Night for more information. McLemore throwing out the first pitch tonight wearing retro Griffey jersey. Has 86 days as we count down to his induction into baseball's Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. New pitcher up on the mound. It'll be Joakim Soria taking over for Danny Duffy to work the 7th. Faces off against Chris Iannetta. Iannetta tonight 0 for 2, a hard line out and also a strikeout looking.
Interesting with Soria, things have come full circle for him. He was a longtime closer for the Kansas City Royals, ended up leaving Kansas City. I believe went to Texas and Chicago. And here he is pitching for them again. No longer the closer. Doesn't throw as hard as he used to. His fastball about 92 miles an hour. Throws both the slider and a slow curve, as you saw right there. 69 miles an hour on that curveball.
Well, you don't see that low on the radar gun anymore. You can see the numbers for Soria this year.
He struggled a little bit. 6.30 ERA, 10 strikeouts in 10 innings. He also has 7 walks. Opponent's hitting .325. He's given up a couple of home runs.
We think of Kelvin Herrera as the 8th inning guy for the Royals. And it seems like Ned Yost really gave Soria the opportunity in spring training to assume the duties as the 8th inning setup man as he now faces Marte. But the struggles that Mike was just referencing from Soria made it fairly easy for Yost to give it to a familiar face. And Kelvin Herrera, who throws 99 at 100.
Nice backup play.
Soria trying to pick it with the glove and applies the tag. Two up, 2 down.
And Soria is still a pretty good athlete. Marte trying to bunt this firmly so he can get it past the pitcher. Soria gets off the mound in pretty good shape and puts the tag on.
Now Marte, who is bringing a 7-game hitting streak into tonight, 0 for 3, a couple of strikeouts. Now that ground out. Soria now facing Leonis Martin. Now Soria was an all-star his second year in the majors. That was in a Royals uniform back in 2008. An all-star again in 2010. Has saved over 40 games a couple of times in his career. 0-2. Missed 2012 with Tommy John surgery. Martin behind after the first 2 pitches. Fair ball and an easy play on that slow curveball to Hosmer. 3 up, 3 down on 8 pitches from Joaquin Soria. We are off to the 8th inning. Mariners trying to add to a 1-0 lead. Seattle Mariners Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by Jack in the Box. Taste the Bacon-licious sourdough bacon ranch combo only at Jack in the Box. Felix back out to work the 8th. Pitch number 100 on the way. It's a strike.
And anytime you're protecting a 1-run lead, it's important to get the leadoff hitter out, but it's especially important to keep Dyson off the bases. Already has a stolen base in this one.
Seager in on the grass. Cano back a couple of steps and a short throw. Retires Dyson on 3 pitches. Now a righty and a lefty. Nick Vincent, Vidal Nuno getting loose inside the Mariners bullpen.
We mentioned it earlier, but Felix's season high as far as the pitch count goes is 106, and we can see he's at 102 right now.
And with that out, Felix has now gone a season high 7 1/3 innings. He's got 7 innings twice, including his last start. First pitch strike to Escobar.
First strike with a curveball, comes back with a slider.
thinking about it, but he holds back. Escobar, a strikeout victim in the 5th. That was the last strikeout tonight from Felix. The wide of the 1-2. Curveball makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes. King scored back up on its feet. 2-2, 1 out, top of the 8th inning. And here it comes. And we said off and on, Felix has put up good numbers against the Royals over the course of his career. Only once in 12 starts has he allowed more than 3 earned runs. He has been fantastic tonight. Again, the 2-2. Got him swinging. Got a piece of the bat and the umpire. Big Carapaz had to wear that on the arm, it looked like.
I think he hit him right on his hand. Take a look at this swing as he barely gets a piece of it. And in his left hand, he had that ball strike counter and dropped it immediately.
.108 pitches down for Felix. Into right field. Smith slides, can't make the catch. Backed up by Martin. Escobar, wide turn, respects the arm of Martin in center field. A 1-out single.
And a good fundamental play. Martin backing it up, knowing that Seth was going to try to make the catch. The side of his glove. You can see Martin running over, knowing this was going to be close one way or the other. And because he was backing up, he holds him to a single.
In steps Moustakas, tying run at first. And I'm going to try to frame that one.
Well, Stottlemyre, pitching coach. Enjoyed what he's been seeing tonight. Moustakas 0 for 3. He has grounded out a couple of times. Felix would like to get a ground ball right here, turn a double play and end the inning.
Got a strike.
Season high 111 pitches for Felix. You see 69 strikes.
Is 1-1. Pitch outside. There goes Escobar. Safe. Marte right away wants this to be taken a look at. Tim Bogar on the phone. Talking with Chris Prieto.
Take another look at it. Marte looks as if he beats it, and he does. Keeps the tag on him just in case he comes off the bag. I think he's fine.
Looking for any kind of daylight there between Escobar and the bag. So that will stay. Tying run in scoring position. And now 3-1 on Moustakas, one of the better RBI men in this lineup for Kansas City. Helped in large part by 7 home runs this season.
Kansas City 0 for 7 tonight. Runners in scoring position. Felix has been able to get out of trouble time and time again.
Full count.
Another good example of it. Gets into a 3-1 count. Does not give in to him with the fastball. He ends up coming right back with a curveball for a strike.
A chance for Felix raining out throughout Safeco Field. Tying run in scoring position. Gloved into right field. Smith's got some room for out number 2. Escobar tags. He easily makes it into third base.
And Felix now at 115 pitches. Scott Servais making a trip out to the mound. I think he must have a conversation with Felix.
That'll be it for the King. What a performance tonight. Felix pitches into the 8th inning. Exits with a 1-0 lead. The 8th inning, and he so far has held the Royals off the board, responsible for Escobar at third.
7 2/3, 5 hits, no runs. He is responsible for the base runner at third, and Escobar had 3 walks today, 4 strikeouts, 115 pitches, 71 of those were strikes. Nick Vincent is going to take over on the mound for Nick. His fastball will be 89 to 91. Mix in a cutter with it, an occasional slider. This year, this will be his 10th appearance. He's pitched well. ERA under 2 at a 1.93. 12 strikeouts and 9 1/3. Has yet to walk a batter. Opponents hitting just 125.
It was 115 pitches tonight for Felix, the most that he has thrown since August of 2014 when he threw 116 against the Red Sox. In fact, he reached that number twice that season. Kane was able to pick up a couple of base hits against Felix. 2 of the 5 hits tonight for the Royals. Tie and run 90 feet from home with 2 outs. 1-1.
Nuno continues to throw in the pen. Hosmer, left-handed hitter, waiting on deck.
Felix just a spectator at this point. 1-2. Down off a pitch, dead red. Escobar, the tying run at third. Top of the 8th inning, 2 outs. Escobar reached on the single, advanced to second on a steal. Moved to third base on a deep fly out by Moustakas to right field. No bigger cheerleader inside Safeco Field than number 34 right now. Vincent again on 1-2. Ground ball. Good hop there to Cano, and that'll be it for the Royals at the top of the 8th inning. Felix, 7 2/3 scoreless, a tip of the cap to Nick Vincent as we make our way to the bottom of the 8th inning. Mariners clinging to a 1-run lead.
Oh, what a night for the King. Outstanding work from Felix Hernandez on this Friday night against the World Series champion Royals. The Mariners with the 1-0 lead. Hey, time for a little hashtag Where I Root, presented by Alaska Airlines. Neil Stover sending this in. May seem fishy, but with the M's making waves in the West, we're rooting under the sea. Now that is clever stuff right there from Neil. What else do we have on this Friday night? Karen Seacrest, 2 best friends hanging out. Karen and the Moose. Loving what they saw from King Felix as we send it back upstairs. Oh, wait, Dez. Newlyweds, congratulations. Hope that young couple has a great night at the ballpark. Now we'll get it up to Aaron and Mike.
Well, we send our best as well, Tom. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, new pitcher up on the mound, it's Luke Hochevar facing Norioki. What a night for Felix Hernandez. 7 2/3 scoreless. 5 hits to the Royals. Vincent able to finish off the top of the 8th as we start the bottom half.
You mentioned the 5 hits for the Royals. Keep in mind they came in 4th in hitting in the American League. Hochevar's his 11th appearance. He pitched well. 2.89 ERA. 11 strikeouts and 9 1/3. Only 1 walk on the year.
All 5 hits tonight for Kansas City were singles. One of them was an infield single. As Oki's ahead of the count 3-0. Doing bunts. Ball 4. 4-pitch walk for Hochevar right out of the gates.
And that will bring up the hitting star, Seth Smith. Mariners with just 1 hit. And it was the solo home run by Seth in his last plate appearance. back in the 6th inning.
Mariners have drawn now 6 walks, but 1 hit. In Mariners franchise history, they've won only 3 games when having exactly 1 hit. Not an easy thing to do. We'll take a look at the last at bat for Seth Smith, Mike.
Towering home run out to right for Seth, his 3rd home run on the year, number 100 in his career.
Meanwhile, while we were watching that replay, looks like all smiles. Salvador Perez and Vic Carapazza, the home plate umpire, having some discussions. They were both looking over towards Scott Servais. Everybody's smiling, so that's a good sign. Tim Bogart's in the mix too. There goes Aoki. Well, now we see maybe why they were talking a little bit as Perez got his hand on Carapazza's mask.
Pretty good jump by Aoki at first base. He would have been able to steal it if Seth hadn't fouled it off.
Two balls and a strike. Close pitch there. Went in Smith's favor. Seth has reached base twice tonight, the walk, then the homer. Aoki a walk on 4 pitches at first base. There goes Aoki again, swing and a miss. Down to second, tag. Aoki's out.
He thought he beat it. He's still out there. I'm sure they'll take a look at it. Strong throw by Perez. We talked about it. 3 gold gloves for Perez, and here's the end of the play. I think they ended up tagging him out.
On the right foot. Aoki has gotten off to a rough start stealing bases. 1 steal and now 4 tries. Meanwhile, the count 2-2 on Smith, and that wipes away the leadoff walk. Mariners trying to give a little breathing room to Steve Cishek. You'll see the Mariners closer in the 9th inning. By the way, Felix with his performance tonight, 7 2/3 scoreless, as we can see Cishek warming up. Drops his ERA from a .180 to some pocket change, 138.
I'd say that's a pretty good April.
Well, for his first 5 starts of the year. Ball 4, back-to-back walks. As Smith makes his way to first base, we'll take a look at our Geico this day in Major League history. This really puts a rough April into perspective. The Orioles take down the White Sox on this day back in 1988. A lopsided win, 9-0. It snapped their 21-game losing streak to begin the season. The Twins, they got nothing on the '88 Orioles.
Remember, Cal Ripken Jr. was upset because he ended up firing his dad. I think it was some 6 games in. Frank Robinson ended up taking over the team. Cal was not happy about it.
The short leash. In steps Cano with 1 out and 1 on. Robinson looking for his first hit tonight. Gordon coming in, puts on the brakes for out number 2. Now we look at best ERA March and April in Mariners history, and we are being spoiled right now. Felix, we just mentioned 138. Taijuan Walker 144 his April. 2 fantastic starts to the season by 2 members of the Mariners rotation. We'll have a chance to see Taijuan in the final game of this series. That is how we will open up the month of May, with Taijuan Walker up on the mound. 2 outs for Nelson Cruz. Remember, the Mariners lost on opening day to the Rangers when Texas had 1 hit. Felix, of course, was on the mound. The Mariners right now 1 hit with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th inning, but they have a 1-0 lead. Tonight, yet another Felix ultra quality start. At least 7 innings of work, 2 earned runs or fewer. Felix 7 2/3 scoreless innings. If you go back to when Felix first entered the majors back in 2005, he has far and away the most Felix ultra quality starts. The next man, Cole Hamels, and he's over 30 away.
Well, Felix back in the clubhouse right now. He'd like to see his buddy Nelson Cruz get into a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Looks at a strike.
3-0, threw him a slider. Give you an idea how much respect the Royals have for Nelson Cruz.
Cruz has Smith aboard at first base. Mariners have taken their share of walks tonight. High twisting fly ball into right field, but Dyson is there in front of the warning track for round number 3. Steve Cishek warming up, ready to go. He will pitch tonight. Mariners hold it on by a run.
Taking game 1 against the Royals. Stick around after the game for Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines. We'll take a look at Felix's gem, and it was exactly that. Big news from our friends at the Big Sky Conference to tell you about. Reaction from the clubhouse, and Nelson Cruz talks about one of his favorite subjects, Nelson Cruz bobblehead night. That and more coming your way on Mariners postgame. Upstairs now to Aaron and Mike.
All right, thank you, Tom. A lot to get to once this one is over with. But first, Mike, Steve Cishek, Mariners closer out to pick up what would be save number 6 on the season.
Perfect 5 for 5 so far. ERA under 1, as you can see, is 0.90. In 10 innings, he has 9 strikeouts, just a couple of walks, and opponents hitting just 171 against him. Fastball slider combination, an occasional changeup to the left-handers. His fastball will be around 91 miles an hour.
Cishek working for the first time since Monday against the Astros. Starts Eric Hosmer off with strike 1. Up the middle. They have the shift on. Hosmer is aboard. Tying run is at first.
Well, he gets a fastball in the middle of the plate at 91.
Tying run at first. The go ahead at the plate with some pop in Morales. Well, not only is the Mariners win on the line here in the 9th inning, but also Felix and some more history in line for the win tonight. It would put him right in line with Jamie Moyer for the most wins in franchise history. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cishek falls behind 2-1. That was close. Last time Cishek was up on the mound, he picked up his 100th career save. Looking for 101 here tonight. Three and 1. Service not pleased. Gordon on deck. Strike poured in that time.
Well, it helped him out a little bit.
Hosmer, a leadoff single up the middle. He's a tie and run, the man at first base. Hosmer takes off. Glove to right field towards the pole. This is bending a lot in a foul ball. Now Morales has gotten off to a slow start, batting beneath 2 1/4, but you do not want to poke the bear. Still 3-2.
Working hard to keep the ball away from him. You can see the one pitch in the middle of the plate. That was on the slider that he pulled foul. Everything else away.
Here comes pitch number 8. And we will see number 9. He wants no part of the wheelhouse of Kendrys Morales. Trying to work around a leadoff single. Keeping an eye on Hosmer. No margin of error tonight for Cishek in the 9th inning. Mariners 1 run on 1 hit. 6th inning home run by Seth Smith. The 3-2. Got him swinging. Hosmer in his second.
Well, he was able to strike him out on the slider, threw it at his back foot as Morales swings right over the top of it. And a good play by Chris Iannetta. Difficult pitch to throw on. We saw one similar earlier in the game, but this one just not able to keep his balance.
And with one out, the tying run is in scoring position for Alex Gordon. First pitch strike.
All three left-handers who started off with the slider for a strike.
Only the second time in Gordon's career he has faced Cishek. Did not have a hit the first time. Cishek trying to keep that the same here in the ninth inning. Even for Steve Cishek, Kings Court loud and in charge here tonight. Full house from Safeco Field. The 0-2. This game has been tight since the get-go.
Martin, the center fielder, shading towards left center.
Hosmer, the tie-in run in scoring position, one out. Got him swinging again.
Going to elevate a fastball at 91. It's in the middle of the plate, but above the strike zone. Left-hander swings underneath it. Late swing by Gordon.
Back-to-back punch-outs following the single by Hosmer to start the ninth. First pitch, tight to the line, a foul ball. Glenn Fagan, third base umpire, emphatically signaling foul.
See how close it is. It's right down the line. And you can see him call it right away.
One out to go. Center field. Martin having to move back. Martin makes the catch.
Wow.
A collision is how this one ends. One hit, one run, and the Mariners take down the Royals in game one of the series.
Congratulations to Felix Hernandez, tying Jamie Moyer now with the win. All-time Mariners. What a play by Martin in center field. He was playing shallow. I'm not sure he knew how close he was to the wall because his face hit it immediately when he caught it. The Mariners, an outstanding job once again holding the Royals 0 for 11 runners in scoring position.
Incredible ending on a ball that looked like he would have a chance to get out, at least hit off the wall and score the tying run.
Take a look at Martin. He's not sure, just concentrating on the ball where the wall is, and right when it hits his glove, his face goes right into it. What concentration. Game saver, and holds on to it.
Save number 6 for Steve Cishek. Win number 12 for the Mariners. And win number 145 for Felix Hernandez. Now tying Jamie Moyer for the most in franchise history. What a game here tonight from Safeco Field. Mariners postgame presented by Delta Airlines starts right now with Brad and Val. Guys, take it away.